Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, episode 110. So today we're going to talk about some Extreme Rules, but first, live on Skype, I've got Josh.
Hey.
And I got Bryan.
Hello.
So, last minute, the pre-show got shook up a little. I think Daniel Bryan, it came through that he was too injured to compete, which I think if you were paying attention to the dirt sheets, you knew by the fact that he wasn't even in town. So we got our match changed to Neville versus Barrett on the pre-show.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite matches of the evening. Although it was not on the real show, I really thought it was a great match.
Yeah, it was a good match. They're really building Neville really well right now.
Yeah, definitely got to say Neville has got to be one of the good recent call-ups from NXT in terms of how they're building him.
Yeah, it's been a while since an NXT talent has not turned into a jobber.
I'm trying to cast my mind back.
Rusev.
That was a long time ago. That was last year this time, though.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess you could also Kalisto, but we haven't seen much out of him yet.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more from the Lucha Dragons being featured on Raw and SmackDown.
I think now that we've got I say technically heel champions, it might be a little easier to see more Lucha Dragons featured. So yeah, Daniel Bryan. Have we had any update on the guy?
No, just that he's been pulled from the weekend loop too. So
to me, it looks like they don't know yet. They don't know at all how long he will be out for sure.
I'm just hoping it's something like a concussion. It's not another serious issue with the neck.
Yeah, that's the only problem with the dirt sheets at the moment is you hear pretty much everything. You hear that he's injured so bad that, it's career ending, and then the next dirt sheet will report that he's out for just a couple of weeks and he'll be back. That's why they haven't taken the title off him. The next match, I tried to look it up. The list of long matches only went up to an hour, so I couldn't technically find the exact specifications. The Chicago street fight between Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. Technically the first match on the card, but also the fourth.
This is just an interesting way to go about it. It kind of reminded me of the Hollywood Blackout Brawl that they had at WrestleMania 12. The only thing that would have been better is if they had a camera that would have been following the vehicle around as they brawled. Maybe have them stop like a McDonald's or something and get out and just beat each other up for a while and then get back in the car and go at it again.
Yeah, I was really hoping for that. That's what I thought was going to happen, but it ended up they just came back into the arena.
Yeah, after Triple H ordered Kane to find them, I thought we were going to get one video segment, which was them brawling somewhere, and then them coming crashing back. But
yeah, like when the camera followed Dean Ambrose to Coney Island, for quotation marks.
I guess it comes down to they may have run out of time to add that extra shot in. They may have had a camera with them. It's fairly easy to have a cameraman lay down in the back seat with the tinted windows. But in terms of funnest match of the night, I definitely got to give it to that one. as soon as they got in the car, you knew it was going to be a good ending.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious that Luke Harper left as the driver, but he was a passenger when he came back.
Yeah. That just makes you want to know what happened in the middle even more. As soon, though, as it happened, I was with my grandfather, first live pay-per-view for a while, and he's like, yeah, they probably just pulled around the corner and went into a coffee shop and sat down for a little bit.
I saw some people say that they went out to get a drink, a beer.
I don't know if they'd have an alcoholic beverage while in the middle of a match. But the likelihood is they were probably just parked around in the car park. Unless they were planning on doing a segment, in which case they would have been at the spot. And that ran for 56 minutes and 10 seconds. Then the next match, possibly the least entertaining post-match, Ziegler versus Sheamus.
I wouldn't say the least entertaining. I thought the match was pretty good, and Sheamus got a lot of heel heat here.
Specifically the post-match part.
Yeah, I just thought the setup for it was a little silly.
I still didn't understand why we had that as a stipulation.
It was specifically to get Sheamus over as a major heel. That was the whole purpose of it. It was so that Ziegler would win, and then Sheamus would absolutely humiliate Ziegler to become even more of a heel than he already was.
Yeah,
I don't know. Part of me just thinks Vince had like a weird dream or something and just said, let's make it a kiss me arse match.
Either way, Ziegler did technically pick up the win. Technically. So I think it is time. It is the classic theme. It is Extreme Rules. Let me check here. 2011. So you picked this one because it was a cage match main event?
Yep. A triple threat cage match main event between Cena, Miz, and John Morton. I want justice. I want to stand alone.
And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup. FreeFM 89.0. Grady, Josh, and Brandon. So we left off. It is now the WWE Tag Team Championship match. The New Day are the new champions.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the result of this match.
Happy in that the New Day won?
Yeah, I was rooting for the New Day to win because I think they've done a good job with the New Day sucks.
Yeah. I think people that are expecting them to go all military and new Nation of Domination is going to be sadly disappointed. And I think it's got a lot to do with stuff that's going on in Baltimore right now. That's why it won't happen.
It's always very hard for WWE to play that race card. Even if they're not intentionally trying to, people will still draw lines that they are. Very much like... who was the wrestler? Muhammad Hassan, I think?
Yeah, Muhammad Hassan had his gimmick killed because of a bombing.
So even though they're not intentionally trying to do it, I think they will stray away from that. But they could still do it. We've seen them try to be a little edgy and go against the grain and do it anyway. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, if they'll stick with clap or snap.
Yeah, I think they will, because it's working for them. If they're getting a reaction from the crowd, and that's what you ultimately want.
And then that's when the other two came crashing back in. Here we go. John Cena, Rusev, United States Championship, Russian chain match.
chain matches and strap matches have to be the worst match type to watch.
No, that would be items on the pole match.
I don't know.
Such as Judy Bagwell on a pole, Viagra on a pole.
At least,
yes, those were actual matches WCW had.
At least with a something on a pole match, there's a chance to have actual wrestling content in the middle of it. Like, you don't have to involve the pole. It can just be a match, then have the pole. Whereas this, they're sort of restricted in what they can do in the ring.
I thought this was a good match.
I felt it was as good as it could be for someone who was attached. The chain was the main event in that. It wasn't the match content around the chain. And we're going to get a number 4. 4th match.
And this, we're going to get at Payback what we should have gotten in Extreme Rules.
I think ultimately Lana will throw in the towel for Rusev, and that will lead to more tension between Rusev and Lana.
Yeah, it seems as though.
I could actually see her getting into the ring and low-blowing Rusev as she quits.
And then she says, I quit?
She quits being his manager, and then Cena makes Rusev scream, I quit. Because we all know John Cena's not going to.
Yeah. Can Rusev take losing to Cena, 3 times in a row?
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends. You can't really tell the future. It didn't really work out well for Bray Wyatt, and it took him a very long time to recover, so it remains to be seen if that will be for Rusev, but I'm not sure.
I found the tweet I was looking for. I had to scroll back very far. This is Jim Ross on Twitter. He says, Russian chain matches equal bowling shoe ugly. Called many of them unique near falls, so to speak, don't help the presentation. So that's Jim Ross's opinion. Next match, we got the Divas Championship. Naomi and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I think Naomi, she should have won this match. I think it was stupid to have newly crowned babyfaces win dirty.
That does sound illogical.
Yeah, if you were going to have Nikki win, I think you
in WWE Creative, there's no such thing as a heel or face for Divas.
Josh read the same article I did. Yeah. It seems like in creative, there doesn't exist feuds, there doesn't exist alignments, there doesn't exist friends and enemies at all. There just exists females and matches.
Yeah, they're just all mentally unstable women.
Yeah, and that explains their flips so much.
It was a good match, but I don't think Naomi's the right person to take the title off of Nikki.
Who is?
Sasha Banks.
From
NXT.
Naomi Part 2. I'm not the only one who saw that gimmick was very similar, right?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't, but I didn't really see the comparison that much, just because the people are only saying it because she was wearing similar glasses and they have a similar bitch attitude, and I think that's just it. But I don't really see that big of a comparison between Sasha Banks and the way Naomi is going right now.
But then I ask you, what else is a part of Sasha Banks' character that's not those things? Because that essentially is her character. She acts like a big A, and that's pretty much the character.
I think Naomi, she showed on Raw that she's gonna be going to like a bully almost.
I could see that being slightly different.
Yeah, but it does look like we're gonna get a rematch between Naomi and Nikki at Payback.
Probably when Paige comes back.
Yeah, it does make sense. The pay-per-view name makes a lot of sense for that happening.
Okay, so we'll go into our current one. This is this year's Extreme Rules theme, Irresistible by Fallout Boy. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady, Josh, and Brandon. Last man standing match, Roman Reigns versus The Big Show.
Yeah, this match started out slow, but it got really entertaining as the match went on.
And over time, Roman Reigns started to win over one of the most smarky crowds there are in Chicago.
Yeah, it was surprising as well. I didn't watch Raw, but I know you guys updated me mostly on it, and the WWE poll as well. Of course, you keep saying obvious choice is obvious for the triple threat, but Roman Reigns got, what, double the votes that Orton did for a singles?
It looked that way. From what I could see, I'm not entirely sure, but what I thought I saw was Reigns got 15% of the vote, 7% vote went to Orton. That was what I was interested in, was who got more votes between those two, because we all knew the triple threat was coming.
It may be that they've moved Reigns out of, for the meantime, in terms of since WrestleMania, out of the direct spotlight, and fans are like, oh well, we actually didn't hate him that much, and now they're warming back up to him the way they were, air quotes, meant to.
And it probably has also helped Fastlane, WrestleMania, and last night on Extreme Rules were all amazing matches Reigns were in. Reigns had an amazing match with Daniel Bryan, then followed it up with an amazing match with Brock Lesnar, and then had an amazing match with seemingly impossible with The Big Show.
He found a way. And it's highly likely that he'll have an amazing match with both Orton and Rollins at Payback.
Yeah. It also probably helped that he kept trying to use the tables.
Yeah, there was a lot of tables broken in that match. And that's how it ended too.
One of the biggest spots was him getting chokeslammed out of the ring through those tables.
Yeah.
That was I thought the match would have been over at that point. That was an insane spot.
And as with all last man standing matches, it ended with someone pinned under something. Or strapped onto something.
Or duct taped.
Duct taped. Main event, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, steel cage match for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion with the RKO band and Kane as the gatekeeper.
This match, I don't think, was as good as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of bored for a big portion of the match. I didn't really get much excitement for the match until the end, where Kane started to get involved.
So I thought the stuff with Kane, although it was the exciting part of the match, it was very predictable in what was going to happen. It seemed fairly obvious that Kane was going to get annoyed, double chokeslam J&J, and then pretty much after that point, especially after Seth kicked him, it was pretty obvious he was going to give each person a chokeslam. It was just which way he was going to make the match end.
But nobody saw
the RKO finish.
Seth Rollins using the RKO to win the match.
No. I will give you that part. I did not predict that at all.
But it made perfect sense when it happened.
Yeah.
It gave Randy Orton an excuse to continue the feud. It gave Seth more heel heat because who doesn't hate somebody who steals somebody else's finisher?
Pedigree.
Except for Damien Mizdow.
It's Sandow now.
And it just made perfect sense when it happened, but nobody saw it coming because they didn't think, well, the RKO's banned, so it won't be used at all. Well, it got used by Seth Rollins.
He broke his own rule.
And that's basically screwed him when it came to Kane announcing the match for Payback.
Yeah. So we got 3 minutes left. We know the main event. We know that that's going to be the triple threat, and we know the US title is going to be on the line again with Cena Rusev. If Cena still has the title, open challenges and all that. Are there any other matches at this point that you see as taking place, preferably up in the main card?
I'll say a fatal 4-way tag team title match.
Okay.
Including the Lucha Dragons, and we'll throw primetime players in there as well.
Yeah.
I'll say that we'll have a Divas Championship match, most likely, depending on if Paige comes back, will determine how many people will be on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say at the very least, it'll be Naomi versus Nikki again.
Okay.
At the very least. I'll say that there'll be probably another Neville versus Barrett match. But this time it'll be Neville versus King Barrett.
No, King Neville versus Barrett. I'm sticking by my pick.
That would be nice, but I think it's going to be the other way around. I think in the finals, Barrett will beat Neville, and then they'll get a rematch at Payback.
That'll be over by the time. It's over tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So when this airs, we're gonna seem crazy for arguing about who will be king. We've recorded this before the finals, and I believe Neville will win, and Josh believes Barrett. Who do you think, Brandon? Who's gonna be king?
I don't know. I think there's a very good chance it's going to be Barrett because I just see Neville coming up short in this one. I think him losing this one may actually help him more in becoming an underdog favorite.
You know what would be hilarious? R-Truth as king.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That would be hilarious.
No one saw it coming if he wins.
Oh. No. Everybody pretty much is hedging their bets on those two. One of those two.
He should have been the Intercontinental Champion in the first place. He was the most entertaining when they were swapping the title around.
But, Daniel Bryan. Okay. So that's all we got time for. It's been great talking to you two.
Great talking to you as well.
So you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. I'll see you next week.